And we're back, this time with the women's Sabre final. Caroline Martin on the left, Amy Freeth on the right, Richard Foster presiding as referee, and Finn McCombie in our VAR box. First point has gone to Caroline Martin. As we begin this final, both fencers fencing very well to make it this far. But that is a second point for Martin as she takes a second. And that's the first point on the board for Amy Freeth, our second seed. And Caroline Martin seems to have asked for a VAR call for that one. As we wait to see what Richard Foster's decision is, as we said, Finn McCombie is on VAR alongside Kyle Profit. We also have plenty of other Sabres on standby just in case, including the wonderful Ridley Buckeridge and Alex Farley, who has been one of our great referees today, both of whom have been refereeing, and refereeing quite well, if I may say so. Richard Foster now not quite made the decision, but seems to be coming down the stairs now, ready to deliver the verdict. And that is a maintaining of the initial decision for Amy Freeth. That time to Caroline Martin in the middle. She takes a 1 point lead. Series misses there going in as Amy Freeth levels the scoring once again. That time in the melee going to Caroline Martin. She takes back that lead. Very back and forth so far in this final today. No points given in that point round. That time going to Martin as she extends her lead to 2 points at 5. Again, Martin's starting to take that priority in the middle, starting to be more of a dominating presence. Called simultaneous for that attack. Another VAR call. Initially the referee deferred to Amy Freeth, but it seems as though Caroline Martin would like a check on that. I believe if this is maintained for Amy Freeth, that is the last time that Caroline Martin can make such a VAR call. As 2 incorrect VAR calls typically leads to a fencer being unable to make those decisions, which would certainly be a blow to Martin's efforts to win the final. Martin fencing incredibly well so far, but so is Amy Freeth. Certainly still to play for so far. And Richard Foster coming back downstairs with his decision. And we seem to be having a bit of a disagreement there. Coach on Caroline Martin's side getting involved. However, point stands. Amy Freeth with her 4th point. Seven, 4 now. And another point for Martin, 8-4, going into the break. Oh, no, hold on. Hold on just a moment. Amy Freeth making a VAR call for that final point. So it's unclear if that 8th point will stand. Amy Freeth with her first VAR call of the final. Richard Foster now conversing with Finn McCombie and Carl Prophet to see whether the decision should stand or whether this will continue. And Richard Foster seemingly made his decision, moving back down to the piste. And the call still goes to Martin, and we do in fact go into that minute break. Seems as though Amy Freeth on that final point did not take up the priority quickly enough, meaning that Caroline Martin was able to take the remise. And now the two fencers on break. Caroline Martin with a 4-point lead. Still on to play for. Amy Freeth certainly not out of it yet, but still all to play for. Both fencers receiving some coaching on how to proceed from here on. And it shall be very interesting to see who comes away with the gold for this final point. And we're back into the second half now. Caroline Martin on the left, in the lead by 4 points. Amy Freeth, some catching up to do, but stranger things have certainly happened. And that's another point for Martin, extending that lead as we continue on. Oh! An initial attack, no, but the counter as Caroline Martin bumps into that blade. And that's a miss from Martin. And that's another point for Amy Freeth there. Reminder, Caroline Martin is out of VAR calls. So, in terms of Martin's lack of points, if she disagrees with a call, it's much harder to convince the referee. And the referee has chosen of his own accord to go to VAR for that one. I can certainly see why. Heading over to our VAR stand to have a look now. And Richard Foster made his decision. And it's to Martin, extending that lead to 5. there as we continue on. Very good long attack there from Caroline Martin, taking her 12th point. 6 points now separate the two fencers. Very big mountain for Amy Freeth to climb. Nothing to separate the two on that one. But that's another point. Goes through the parry for Caroline Martin. And she's now 1 point away from that gold. From the victory. And that is a parry. Riposte from the left. The decision is made. Caroline Martin, the winner of this year's Exeter Open Women's Sabre Final. Caroline Martin coming away with the gold with a wonderful performance, not just in this final, but across today's competition. Amy Freeth, very, very good work. Commiserations for her defeat, taking a well-deserved second place. Now coming up next we have the men's épée final. Chris Hay taking on Lucius Farlam. And those two will be the last match of the day. Thank you guys, and we'll see you for the final match of day one of the Exeter Open.